What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm Piglet here. We are from the likes of the Mexi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our new Let's Play for our channel, and this time we're going back onto the Wii U console of all things. Or, technically speaking, Sonic, we are doing a new Let's Play for the sake of time, but we're gonna have to redo it again, just because we'll explain more about it as soon as we dive right in. So, Fernando. Yeah, because today is the forms of the 2nd of May today, in this case in 2020. Originally, Tatiana was supposed to be coming back onto Kirby's Return to Dreamland Let's Play, so that way she can able to continue things on from here. But, unfortunately though, that particular portion will be delayed, and join at some point by the end of May, I'm presuming so. So yeah, instead of that, we're gonna have to be mainly focusing on the next Mario Party Let's Play that we have been doing for quite a while, and that is, Mario Party 10. Yep, we're about to be doing a redo Let's Play of Mario Party 10. Came out in 2015 on the Wii U, which I can't even believe it's been about 5 years since when this game first came out. So, Fernando, let's dive right into... I'm assuming this is a title screen, isn't it? But after this loading screens has been done, well, there isn't any title screen around here, so that seems a little bit underwhelming compared to the forms of the previous Mario Party games, including Star Rush, the Top 100, well, a little bit in the Top 100, but definitely not as much as the forms of, well, yeah, as far as you might as well know. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the main menu for Mario Party 10. Now, unlike in the past Mario Party games, they do have a full-fledged cool modes, as you can tell. This game only features 3 main modes, which we have Bowser Party, which is usually the main selling point of the entire portion of the game, and also we've got ourselves a traditional Mario Party mode, which we'll dive right into in just a second. And also on the left, as you can see, that we got ourselves an amiibo kind of symbol, which meaning that, well, we'll talk more about it in the future though, to be honest, but either way though, aside from those 3 main modes, we also got ourselves these 3 side modes, which there are bonus games, Toad's Room, and amiibo bonus. So even then though, that's it. That's literally all this game actually contains itself. Well, apart from those little amiibo details, and as well as the electronic manual, and that's just it. Because unlike Mario Party Star Rush and Super Mario Party, they did manage to able to have jam-packed with modes, but in this game in particular only has 6 main modes. Well, generally 3 biggest main modes, as you can see on the top. So even then though, yeah, that's as far as we can say about it. So yeah, obviously because we actually did this, we're about to be doing a redo Let's Play of this game, because originally back in 2015, just about a month before, or a month after when this game first released, and so far that we no longer had our original Let's Play of this game. This is probably because that the commentary itself is, once again, super quiet. So if you guys can't really hear our commentary very well, and also the quality itself is okay at best. But even then, we'll discuss more about it until later, because for now on, let's dive right into the Mario Party mode first. And much like always, ever since in Mario Party 9, Island Tour, Star Rush, the Top 100, and Super Mario Party, that we have to be tackling through every single mode of this game offers us to. So either way though, as you can see on this character roster screen, there are about 12 characters in total, just like in Mario Party 9 and Mario Party Star Rush, don't forget, and as well as Mario Party 7 as well. But we still got ourselves Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Wario, Waluigi, Daisy, and Toad especially. And we got some returning characters when it's usually first released back in 2015. That we're very glad that Donkey Kong now finally makes its debut in the Mario Party game again. Before Star Rush and Super Mario Party, that basically Donkey Kong will be playable yet again. So even then though, the newest roster in the lineup is both Rosalina and Spike. Huh. But also we got ourselves the returning Toadette character as well, which even then we'll discuss more onto those until whenever we get onto the next board until tomorrow, because we'll discuss more about the forms of the actual main aspect of Mario Party 10 until likely for the majority of the weekend upload schedule. So, yeah, like always, it's the forms of much like in Mario Party 9, and especially noticeable in Mario Party Island Tour, and even Mario Party Star Rush, don't forget, that we're going to be playing as Toad for the first board in, specifically for this game. Let's go ahead and bring out, let's bring Donkey Kong to the roster, so that way we can able to let him have some fun for a ride, especially noticeable that it's been, you know, ever since in Mario Party 4, that he didn't manage to make it become a last playable debut for him. Well, technically if you want to count Super Duel mode in Mario Party 5, if you want to include that. So, this game only has 5 boards, which is a little bit lesser compared to the forms of how it does it in Mario Party 9, Mario Party Island Tour, and even Star Rush as a result. Well, it's definitely a little bit more up there compared to the forms of only 1 game board in the top 100, and especially noticeable with, just 4 boards in Super Mario Party. But either way though, as to be expected is the fact that you can able to change those vehicles at any time, very much like in Mario Party 9. In fact, if you've been following through our Let's Play of Mario Party 9 ever since in 2015, you know exactly what we're gonna talk about for the sake of time. That's only because the actual gameplay aspect of Mario Party 10's Mario Party mode, it might actually play out very similar to Mario Party 9, but just on HD for the first time. In fact, relatively speaking for this point, Sonic, this is actually the first ever Mario Party game to able to feature in HD graphics and stuff like that, which still looks good even to this day, especially noticeable how the fact that, well, this is the first Mario Party game to feature HD. Welcome to Mario Party, you'll be playing in Mushroom Park board. So yeah, as far as you're already aware, is that the Mushroom Park board is pretty much an amusement park kind of board theme, as you can tell. However though, I will have to say for this point right there, this is by far one of my least favorite boards in the game. Probably because, well, first of all, well, before we get onto that actually, here's the actual main aspect of Mario Party mode. It plays out very similar to Mario Party 9, that once again most players seem to able to ride onto one vehicle and you have to travel together, and along the way you'll be collecting some mini stars along the pathway. So even then though, the biggest difference is this time around though, rather than just starting things off with 0 mini stars, instead you actually start things off with 5 mini stars each. So seems a little bit weird to able to actually have that feature to begin with. And also you notice with the forms of that particular deciding order system is the fact that, well, it handles out pretty differently compared to the past Mario Party games, including Super Mario Party, if you want to include that. Basically, the arrows decide to able to indicate that who is ever gonna go first. So even then though, speaking of first, Sonic, here we go with the first minigame in the entire Let's Play of Mario Party 10. And no matter what though, we're doing a free-for-all minigame, so let's see what we're playing through first. Strike Eye Shuffle. Should be a little bit interesting to say the least. So keep track of the one who has the most. So, you know, it's a bit like some sort of like a shuffleware kind of minigame, except, well, we're actually going to be getting some donuts and stuff. And as you can see on screen, we got ourselves a really basic bare bones minigame instruction screen, which thankfully it has been fixed in Super Mario Party at least. But even then, we have no idea why we just keep on comparing this to Super Mario Party, but either way, let's get this thing to it. So yeah, you get the idea, because of how the fact that we've decided able to do this game again, but this time as you can see on screen, the quality itself looks much nicer than the forms of how it does it back in 2015, despite the fact that we still managed to get ourselves the old capture card back in the day, but we no longer have it because it just broke. So as a result, yeah, during forms of 2020, which is the year we're actually on right now, and despite the fact that we still have not got a new Mario Party game yet, ever since in Super Mario Party in 2018, so in this case in particular is the fact that we've decided able to go through, go back to the past basically. So either way though, yeah, that's as far as I can say, because you remember in last year that Sonic and Pinkie Pie did recently tackle through Super Mario Party about a year ago, and I've no idea why Pinkie Pie doesn't seem to want to join with us this time around for this Let's Play. Yeah, I've no idea why. But anyway, we've managed to claim first place by 1 point from Donkey Kong. That's actually pretty close. Yeah, like Mario Party 9 is the fact that, depending on what position you're in, then you rewarded some of those mini stars, as you can see. So yeah, the ultimate premise of Mario Party mode is the fact that it remains the same thing as the ones in Mario Party 9. Whoever gets the most mini stars in the end wins, so that's all I can say. Some of these spaces does make a return from Mario Party 9, such as the green spaces that once again doesn't do anything at all. The blue spaces, basically they act out as dice block space, where you can able to get freebie special dice blocks and stuff like that. And also same applies to the forms of, yeah, here's the main emphasis on the forms of the Mario Party mode as well. Every once in a while, depending on how many numbers you're going to be getting based off from that dice roll, then you would able to actually accidentally unlock the locks from Bowser's Cage that I don't think I can able to show you guys for this because it's only displayed on the Wii U gamepad, which even then though, yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. Even though we were actually trying to able to insert that in that particular clip, but sadly though that our iPhone doesn't seem to like our connectivity when it comes to forms of phones and laptops, which just kind of stinks just because of how the fact that I will promise you guys I can able to show some of the stuff, but nope, that's not the case sadly. But either way though, it's just we have a lot of bad issues with our phone charging problems, so that's how it goes basically. So it looks like Donkey Kong gets a 6, and looks like he accidentally unlocks Bowser out of the cage during the Wii U gamepad screen. Even though despite the fact that we're not going to show this off, sadly. So yeah, this is what happens if you manage to get Bowser out of the cage. That, as you can see for Donkey Kong's case, you will lose a half portion of the mini-stars. So this means is that it feels very similar to the forms of the worst boards in Mario Party 9, which there are Bob-omb Factory and Magma Mine, that basically that every time you're able to come across into something hazardous, then you will have to come across into, likely, if you like get the most unfortunate events ever, then you always have to force to able to lose half of your mini stars. Yeah, which is still stinks even to this day. But even then, at least we're glad that Super Mario Party is going back to the classic roots. But somewhat a little bit of a smaller scale because of smaller boards, and also a shorter amount of those boards to top it off too. So anyways, here's the first boss minigame on that specifically in this game. Yes, boss fights does make a return in Mario Party 10, and somehow we face up against with Mega Cheap Chomp apparently. So, Mega Cheap Chomp's Shell Shock. Attack with A, spin the Mega Cheap Chomp towards other players. So basically we have to just press the A button. However, this is not the boss fight that was on Mushroom Park, by the way, because this boss was originated from the third board in this game, specifically in the Mario Party mode, which is Whimsical Waters, which originally we were supposed to be able to actually delete our entire file again and able to actually start from fresh or something, but sadly though, it's the fact that since we're probably not going to do that because otherwise it will be time consuming at the same time, plus because of how the fact that we just like to do whatever we want, so yeah, much like in forms of Mario Party 9, that if you're following through our Let's Play of that, specifically that, you know that Orange Teddy has already tackled for that game since about 2015, during, I would say November to December or something? Yeah, I'm presuming so anyway. That sometimes computer players always wants to choose what boss fights we're going to be face up against, so either way though, that's the only most unfortunate thing for that specific time, so anyways, let's go and just keep on bashing some more of those hit points for Cheap Chomp right here, or Mega Cheap Chomp. So, even though the actual normal boss fight in Mushroom Park, it was actually Mega Goomba, but unfortunately we have not actually come across into that. However, the good thing about this though is that much like the forms of Mario Party 9 and Mario Party Island Tour, and especially noticeable with, I would classify for saying, Mario Party Star Rush and Super Mario Party as well, then if there are some mini games that we haven't shown you guys about this so far, including boss fights as well, then we can at least manage to able to show the actual some parts off. So even then though, that's why we're going to be able to do it, but we have to save that for a separate video, so you know, you get the idea. So yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. In fact, most people seem to think that this is probably the lackluster Mario Party game that when the game first came out. Even though, generally speaking, that this game was first announced back in E3 2014, and most people seem to never really like it all that much. Most notably because most people really complain about the Mario Party 9's gameplay style and stuff like that. Oh, whoever gets it. Peach gets the last hit! Yeah, much like in Mario Party 9, in terms of boss battles department, is that every time, whenever you get like the last hit, then you get yourselves rewarded with extra amounts of points, as you can see on that little tally result. So yeah, you get the idea for that point. So even then, no sense we claim first place on that minigame right here. By the way, if you're probably wondering what the computer players are acting out in this particular point, folks, they actually act out as hard computer players. So I just want to classify that, even though it might take a while to get used to. To be honest here, Piglet, just because we keep on getting used to with Mario Party Star Rush and the Top 100 and Super Mario Party's hard difficulty. So this means that sometimes computer players get really good at it so far. So anyways though, Toad Houses does make a return ever since in Mario Party 9, except unlike in Mario Party 9, that you don't have to worry about trying to directly land on that specific space. However though, it is there from the get-go whenever you go onto the arrows and stuff, which, thankfully, I'm very grateful for that, especially noticeable that you can able to get yourselves, you know, some items as much as you please. Oh, speaking of such, here we are to the lucky space here. Which, these are simply just attractions, basically. So even then, though, it only happens only in one board, which is of course Mushroom Park, and sadly not the rest, sadly, because I remember back in 2014 or something like that, in E3 2014, at least in the Nintendo Treehouse Live, that they did manage to showcase off how the Bowser Party works in this game, especially noticeable with the Mario Party mode portion of that specific Treehouse Live, which it did show us some of the attractions of how this game offers us to, but it only plays out in just one board, and that is Mushroom Park. So even then though, that's how it goes basically. Oh, goody, we got ourselves the actual reverse minigame again. Even though just like in Mario Party 9, that once again you might as well able to actually just, well, in order to be able to win reverse minigames, it's that you have to lose the minigame in order to win. However, the biggest difference is this time around compared to Mario Party 9, compared to Mario Party 10, is that the award system is actually double it up. Like in 9, that basically you get 10 mini stars. In 10, however though, you get double the amount, mainly 20 mini stars. So in this case, we are doing with Fuzzy Flyers, as you can see. Rules are reversed, aim for last place. And thankfully, this minigame is actually the easiest of the bunch, because unlike the other two, I will say that I'm not a big fan of the other two minigames, which there are Fruit Cahoots, and especially noticeable with Bob-omb Combo, which we'll definitely get onto those at some point, but not now though, because we actually got things started with this particular, you know, this Let's Play in particular, so. Even though there might be some scenarios if we do come across into later bosses in particular throughout the majority of Mario Party 10, since despite the fact that we accidentally just unlocked everything, this also means is the fact that we might able to come across into awkward situations like so. Donkey Kong just somehow accidentally obtained his Cloud after when he was decided able to drop down from that specifically in the reverse minigame. That's very accidental, I have to say. Yeah, tell me about it, Sonic. Tell me about it. So anyway, because we might able to actually just to see what usually happens right there until whenever we get to the end of the actual stage. So, however, as far as you might as well notice it during the time length this time around is that I will have to admit though right away is that I'm actually felt slightly sad about the forms of how the fact that most of the stages in this game right now that it goes by down a lot quicker and faster this time around compared to the ones and how it does in Mario Party 9, and especially noticeable with the forms of Super Mario Party to top it all off. So Because as you can tell, that's, oh, really? Peach will win 10,000 mini-stars. Why is it always Peach all of a sudden? So anyways, when there's a spin happening, then otherwise you'll get just 1 mini-star, so I guess that can be some sort of a trick. If you thought that this might be real, but no, it's just a prank. Yeah, I also thought so anyway. So yeah, there are other attractions you can able to try on as well, but again, in order to able to interact with them is that you have to directly land on those lucky spaces, which there are. Well, we've already done is the Bullet Bill kind of roundabouts kind of attraction, and also there is the roller coaster, the Wiggler roller coaster, and the actual rocking back and forth pirate ship, as you can see, or the airship, I should say, and all sorts of jazz. So even then, it might be seems cool and all, but however, though, I have to admit, though, is the fact that, as I said this before in the beginning, actually, I'll talk more about it until later, because as you can tell, that we might able to come across into, well, the home straight part, meaning that we're now on to almost towards the end of this board. Now as a result, much like in Mario Party 9, it tells you the actual standings, and also that someone will able to get rewarded as in slow dice blocks, much like the forms of in Mario Party 9. So even then, there's not much anything else different about it. So apart from the fact that, well, as far as you guys can clearly notice, that usually, relatively speaking, most of the stages goes down a lot more quicker this time around, which I just think this game is kind of rushed, mainly with the forms of likely with the lack of content, lack of variety, and all that jazz. I think most people seem to already notice by this point, so even then though, definitely the bottom of the barrel in terms of the console Mario Party games, as far as you guys can clearly tell. Much like, you know, other Wii U games has been downhill, like, you know, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash being one of the weakest Mario Tennis games, and also Chibi Robo Ziplash, which is the most uninspired games of the Chibi Robo series, and also same applies by the forms of Metroid Prime Federation Force, despite that game came out in 2016, whilst Metroid Prime Federation Force did usually first announce it in E3 2015, and that's all there is to it. So, yeah, that might be some scenarios like that, I'm afraid. And also, same applies to Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival as well. Oh, yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves for this point, Sonic. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Alright, so herd hearing, or herd watching. Point quickly and tag them with A. So basically, we need to find the corresponding enemy that we can able to find, and basically, that way we can able to get some points to top it off too. So hopefully we were able to rank up some more points from here. And even just trying to get our mini-stars back, because as you can tell, we actually come across into a battle mini-game, which, you know, act out very similar to Mario Party 9, except the noticeable difference this time is the fact that it's no longer gonna have to see ourselves Fire Bro to the table. Instead, it was just, to be more specifically, Hammer Bro instead, which even then, that might be seems a little bit odd choice for able to take away some features for that regard. I still find that game, or I still find Mario Party 10 to be an alright game, but I will have to say for this point right here, I actually kind of prefer this over Mario Party the Top 100, well, despite Mario Party at the Top 100 does have some very cool ideas, specifically adding the history of the Mario Party mini-games from the past, which are basically based off from the console games. However, though, I will say is the fact that I'm just not a big fan of how the fact that they actually add a little content in the Top 100, which, although, don't get me wrong, we actually enjoy most of the Mario Party games, except for one, which you guys should know what we're going to talk about, and that is, of course, Mario Party Advance. Oh god, that game is like trash. We have no idea why we actually got that game still, although despite the fact that we're actually going to be able to collect every single Mario Party game throughout its history. Oh well. Beg ourselves candy juices, I suppose. On the other hand, at least we got ourselves the 0 to 1 dice block, as you can say. Yeah, most like in Mario Party 9 is the fact that you get out to able to carry 2 dice block items at a time, so even then, that's to be expected at this point. Oh, jeez Louise, the backspaces makes a comeback. In fact, kind of think about it though, unlike in Mario Party 9, that if you somehow manage to land on that, the backspace kind of thing about it. That's, well, in Mario Party 9, if you manage to reverse back, and then if you manage to land on one of the spaces, it's able to actually get that, effective on that. This game this time around is the fact that, taking a notice from Mario Party Island Tour, that if you somehow manage to able to get onto the backspace, and then if you land back onto that exact spot, specifically just around here, then the space doesn't get effective. Well, usually relatively speaking of such. And it looks like Donkey Kong is gonna get himself screwed over right here by simply able to get bitten by Piranha Plant right here. Yeah, most of these lucky spaces and unlucky spaces, for whatever reason, they decide to able to change up the symbols for a little bit, which I've no idea why they managed to change it up slightly. I'm guessing it's probably that back in Mario Party 9, that basically it gets like a musical note symbol, and then in Mario Party Island Tour, it gets like, oh please, don't you, okay, phew. That was really close. We really refused to able to lose those mini-stars, Bowser. But anyway, once again we have to participate in reverse minigame again. But I think we get a guarantee we might able to come across into a different minigame as opposed to the same one. So it's predetermined by random, by computer players and such. So in this case we are doing with Bob-omb Combo, which I have to admit though, I'm not a big fan of this minigame though. Which we'll get to that in just a moment whenever we get onto the normal kind of stuff. But we'll get this thing to it. So anyways, let's point the screen just onto here. And let's get to it. Something's worth mentioning, Piglet, is the fact that, as you can tell, this game has no minigame announcer this time around. Which, I've no idea why they actually took out the forms of the minigame announcer, unlike, you know, ones in Mario Party 9. And even Mario Party Island Tour does have those. And even especially noticeable with Star Rush and the Top 100. And even especially noticeable recently, Super Mario Party. But I'm guessing that, well, between Mario Party Advance, and especially noticeable with Mario Party DS, and this game in particular has none of those minigame announcers this time. I'm guessing it's probably because this game did first came out in Japan in March the 12th, if I recall, in 2020, oh no, 2015, sorry, and then later on until likely 8 days later, that we actually get the game in the English version in 20th of March in 2015, which, kind of thing about it, it actually functions the same as, the exact same release date actually, as in the forms of Animal Crossing New Horizons, but in a different year. Yeah, it seems kind of odd, kind of thing about it though, but either way though, that's as far as we can able to noticing this from the start. Finish! Even though we're like able to point it out for that specific announcer. In fact, sometimes whenever we play the game, sometimes we always act out like our announcements was there, because that way you're able to actually get some enjoyable out of. Well, I'm not exactly sure. Actually, gotta think about it though, Piglet. I wish there was like a cool mod to able to feature the forms of that particular minigame announcer to join in this game, but it seems so far that we have not got any of it yet. Yeah, it kind of sucks though, but even then though, this is probably because this is on the Wii U, plus the Wii U has actually gone really downhill in journey forms of not only in 2015, but also in 2016 as well. Yeah, which seems pretty obvious for this point, because thankfully Nintendo Switch does manage to able to, well, go and pretty much succeed by this rate. Alright, so Bouncy Bro. Press 2 rapidly to spin, then bump the others off the platform. Don't get dizzy. Yeah, I will admit though, the text itself can be pretty slow at times, but even then we can still manage to able to just read in the process. In fact, think of like Bounce and Trounce from Mario Party 3, but except that rather than doing with the actual bouncy bungee objects and stuff, instead we get to just simply just do a little bit of a twirl. So yeah, that's all I can think about it. Ah, no! Ah, Peach, you idiot. You're trying to able to knock us off like nothing else. Oh well, we'll take second place anyway. So, anyway, I do suppose there are some other things worth mentioning for, but we'll save that until likely for tomorrow for the next board, because even then, as far as you guys would already know, that originally this was supposed to be by the forms of a two-parter between each board. I think this might be the only Mario Party game able to feature only one board playthrough and stuff like that. Very much like certain boards in Mario Party Island Tour and Star Rush, and even, well, I think that's pretty much about it. So even then, no. Oh, really? Why does Bowser always gives this reward to Peach? I think probably because, well, I'm pretty sure that Bowser was so desperate to want to be marrying Princess Peach and stuff like that, but even then I have no idea why they decided to do that. Or maybe it's probably because, as you can see on screen, that Peach managed to somehow got none of those mini-stars. I'm presuming so anyway. Yeah, I think that's as far as from the case, regrettably. So either way though, let's see what Donkey Kong is about to get. And in fact, since not only does he get himself a 6, but also, I guarantee that he might make it towards the end. Yep, so much so. And much like in Mario Party 9, then basically that's, well, kind of thinking about it though, we don't need, as you can see, there is no Bowser Gate this time around. Instead, it's been replaced by a traditional New Super Mario Bros. Style of castles and stuff like that in terms of designs like this. What? Okay, we're doing with Bowser's Tank Terror, which, spoiler warning for those of you who not played the game yet, that is the final boss of the game. I'm not kidding. Okay, anyway, attack with 2, power up with mushrooms. So, yeah, I'll have to admit though right away, this is by far one of my favorite boss battles in the boss battle minigames of the entire game. Even though this is originated from the final main board in Mario Party mode, which if you guys can clearly tell what it's going to be called, well, it appears to be Chaos Castle. So even then, because if you clearly tell from that, you know, the environment and stuff, even though we were originally able to choose this minigame as in Chaos Castle mode, or Chaos Castle board, but somehow I'm pretty sure that computer players might are able to choose it for us. So that seems very underwhelming, but either way though, we'll just have to accept that. So anyway, basically in this minigame, as you can see, is the fact that we need to keep on attacking Bowser's tank, and that's all you have to do here. The only nitpicking I have with this minigame is the fact that usually it becomes too chaotic, like super chaotic, even though sometimes though it's a bit of a lot of fun to able to actually just to beat the likes out of Bowser's tank no matter what. So either way though, you most likely get the idea. But even then though, I do have to apologize for this point guys about the fact that we actually get into the wrong boss order in terms of the forms of the normal boss fights in particular, but then again we'll show you guys everything else for this game, so even then I will promise you guys we're able to show everything off. So okay, so there goes the first half of the forms of this particular boss battle. So if you think he's actually done yet, and why did he manage to get into the lava to begin with? Well, Piglet, as it turns out, that we got ourselves the Dry Bowser version of himself. Yeah, kind of thinking about it though, I'm pretty sure that Dry Bowser now makes his reappearance after the events of Mario Party Island Tour, but aside from all that stuff though, we have not seen that much in terms of Dry Bowser in every single Mario Party games these days now. Even though that's his first appearance in a Mario Party game, which is of course Island Tour and Mario Party 10, but that's pretty about it. So basically in this entire second and the final phase of the fight, that we have to keep on shooting at Dry Bowser, and that's all you have to do here. So it's a pretty cool combination between normal Bowser and Dry Bowser at the same time in terms of the final boss in the Mario Party game nonetheless. So even then, it was a pretty cool conclusion towards the end though. Well, to be more specifically, in this very out of place minigame that we're playing through for the sake of time, just because I'm pursuing one of those computer players to somehow choose it for us, much like in Mario Party 9. Even though, unlike Mario Party 9, that we haven't come across into, not only for the Bowser Jr. minigame, in this case the worst minigame of the whole entire set, and also same applies to the final boss minigame in Mario Party 9, which is Bowser's Block Battle, that at least in those two minigames, usually always located in Bowser's Station. But that's no longer the case for this game this time around, which is, you know, kind of out of place, I have to say for this point, but either way though, let's go ahead and just, well, finish him off. Who gets the last attack? Oh, Rosalina gets the last attack. In this case, she gets about 10 points. You know, kind of like King Boo's puzzle attack from Mario Party 9. And that's pretty much it for this, for the sake of time, folks. In terms of the final boss of the game, which apparently we accidentally come across into that from the very beginning of the game. So, this seems very out of place still, but either way though, that's all I can really think about it. That's because computer players are idiots sometimes. And I think that's pretty much about it in terms of the first board in Mario Party 10's Mario Party mode. And much like in the forms of Mario Party 9, it tells you the forms of the reward ceremony specifically. In addition to able to show us the bonus stars, as you can see. There are about 5 of them in total, which there are Far Star, Slow Star, Dice Star, Minigame Star, and finally Minor Star. So in this case, both bonus stars will be rewarded with Peach. And I think you get 5 bonus stars, bonus mini stars I'm presuming so, that able to actually just able to add up to your total amount. So in this case, the winner of the first board in Mario Party 10, at least specifically the Mario Party mode, Rosalina, she's now in 4th place, and Peach was in 3rd place, and Donkey Kong's in 2nd place, and of course Toad is the number 1. Yeah, you are, Toad. It's kind of a shame that you're no longer playable in the Top 100 and Super Mario Party, but I'm glad we can able to play as you again after all these years. So yeah, that's as far as worth mentioning. So, dang, looks like Donkey Kong managed to beat Peach by 1 mini-star from 2nd place. But regardless of such though, we got 95 of those mini-stars, and much like always, it tells you the graph of how much mini-stars you'll be gathering through. It's kind of a shame it doesn't tell you how many bonus stars or how many tally of the bonus stars you'll be getting through, which is kind of sucks because unlike Mario Party 9 does able to have that. But either way, though, let's just end things off here. So join us tomorrow for more Let's Play of Mario Party 10, that we're going to be mainly focusing on the next board in Mario Party mode, which is Haunted Trail. So see you guys tomorrow. Later, fellas. See you guys then.